In academia, the origin of landscapes here on Terra is settled science. The view in universities and colleges and high schools throughout the world is that everything we see in the terrain came into existence through natural forces. NASA tells us that life of any kind has been found only on this planet. That's in their article on astrobiology. And academia takes NASA as an authority. So, in earth sciences, in space sciences, in life sciences, all academics have, at the base of their thinking, the false premise that we are the first advanced race in the universe. That leads to all sorts of nonsense. Because if we are the first advanced race in the universe, then everything we see in the natural world must have come into existence through natural forces, because there were no other races here, no races with high technology to build any of it. There were no races to build continents, to build hills, mountains, valleys, riverbeds, creek beds. There are no races to build planets. There were no races to build stars. There were no races to build space, dimensions, life forms. All life forms must have come into existence through natural forces, because we are the first advanced race and we didn't create the life forms. We didn't build crickets. We didn't build grasshoppers, blades of grass, juniper trees. We didn't do any of that. And we definitely didn't build continents. We didn't have the will, the energy, the workforce. We didn't have it. So the premise is the problem. The premise at the base of all natural sciences academics thinking, all of their research, all of their publications, all of their books, my God, all of their field research, is that we can only see terrain, life forms, space objects that are natural. We can only see natural objects in the natural world. But if we set aside that premise, that false premise that we are the first advanced race in the universe, if we just set that aside for a moment, then we can ask the question, is what I'm looking at natural or artificial? The question is not being asked in the universities, in the high schools. No one's asking that question in those sciences, in those disciplines. And that's the problem. So everyone's working in a dead end. They're inside of a cul-de-sac they can't get out of. So a geologist looks out onto the terrain on his daily hike and he says, I must come up with mechanisms for how this terrain, how this hill, how this riverbed, how this mountain came into existence. What is the natural mechanism that created it? And so that's what geologists spend their lives doing. Because they have this false premise that we're the first advanced race. This premise doesn't leave room for the idea that advanced races might have built the terrain. So once we set aside that false premise, then we have the ability to ask the question, is what I'm looking at natural or artificial in the natural world? And that includes when we're out on our hikes, in and on the terrain of Terra. And Terra is the name of our planet. Earth is not the name of our planet.